Welcome to episode 6 of Pigskin Over Pizza,
Pop!
the show where we talk about sports while eating and eventually reviewing a hopefully delicious pizza. Do you do that with me every time now?
What?
Yeah,
I like it.
Okay. The date is July 20th. Derek, where is this pizza from?
This pizza is from Massey's Pizza. Not sure how big of a chain it is, but it is a chain. It's one of our... I think we did Angie's, and I think that's a chain, but not as big of a chain as this one. But that doesn't mean it's not delicious. We've definitely had this one before.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a I think it won best pizza last year, and it's always in the top couple in pizza voters lists every year.
And it's also known as a Cadillac of pizza.
They do say that. And they also say to try our subs because all our subs are oven toasted. And they're loaded with meat and cheese, just like me.
All right, should we dig in?
I'm ready. Casey got extra cornmeal.
That's because I was telling him, you can just do lines of it when you're done. It's pretty fun.
Definitely. I'm kind of excited to do lines of it.
I've gotten this pizza since I was a kid, and they used to do way more cornmeal, I'm telling you. It's different now. And also, this is not even close to white sauce. I think you're mocking me. My mom was making fun of me because...
trying to get more cornmeal on there.
Yeah, cornmeal was falling off, so I started putting it on top of the pizza. With my cleaning, a lot of it falls off, as you know.
I feel like it doesn't add much. Just another texture. Does cornmeal have a taste? I don't think cornmeal has a taste. That's it?
I don't know. I never ate it on its own. It feels like it adds something to the overall flavor, but maybe it's just consistency messing with you, or texture. I hate you.
Full disclosure, I'm fucking starving. And I already know I like Masseys a lot. So this is going to be an issue. So if you see me sneaking down here, I have my own pizza, so I don't eat all of Casey's.
Do you have any initial thoughts on a cornmeal least, or do you want to wait and save it?
I don't think it adds much. Just some texture. I don't think it tastes like anything.
You sure are packing it on there.
It's just fun at this point.
The flies are sure to love it.
It definitely adds something in your mouth. Like a gravel.
Here you go.
I don't mind it. I kind of like it. I don't know why.
There's not... Yeah, I don't know either, because other pizzas had cornmeal. I never really even cared if it had it or not. But this one, something about it.
I don't know what it's adding or why it's doing anything for me, but I kind of wish mine had extra cornmeal. I don't know why. That's all.
All right. Speaking of cornmeal, we're getting to some football.
Sure.
What do you got?
Football is Seattle football. I think a lot of football is 3 weeks away. Preseason football. That gets me going.
Fantasy and pick 'em going.
We really do. I'm gonna win both of those. I got some news this week.
I got a couple things.
We got a Rich Sherman update.
Okay.
So he's out of jail. I think we said that last time. But we were concerned that he wouldn't, or that we hoped that he would get the help that he needed. And at least acknowledge it. Did you see what he sent out?
Oh God, no.
Fuck all of you. No, I'm just kidding. I am deeply remorseful for my actions on Tuesday night. I behaved in a manner I am not proud of. I've been dealing with some personal challenges over the last several months, but that is not an excuse for how I acted. The importance of mental and emotional health is extremely real, and I vow to get the help I need. I appreciate all the people who have reached out in support for me and my family, including our community here in Seattle. I'm grateful for such an amazing wife, family, and support system to lean on during this time. So, I feel like you can't really ask for... Not that I was even asking for anything, but he didn't have to post anything because most sacks of shit don't. Not saying he is a sack shit. It's just a different action. But admitting there's an issue, taking responsibility for it, and then the big thing is I'm gonna get the help I need. So I hope that's true.
Yeah, I hope so too, because most sack shits don't post anything, or they do, and you can clearly tell it's by an agent, and then a week later there's a news story about something they did.
Yeah, this feels pretty genuine.
Yeah,
but who the fuck am I to know that? So. Yeah, dude, you're onto something with the cornmeal. It adds zero flavor. I have 2% on my phone.
Oh, yikes.
So I'm going to plow through mine. I have other news too, but I guess there's nothing more to say about Shermy. Running back for the Rams, Cam Akers, I think it was his second year. He was fucking awesome last year and looking to be the next big thing. Tore his Achilles, so he is out for the season, which
That's
sucks.
one of the things I have on here.
Yeah, that sucks ass. I know some Seattle fans would probably be like, yeah, fuck yeah. But I love winning when the whole division is at full health and you don't wish injuries on anybody. So that sucks for him. And he was good and looked really promising, but plenty of time to recover too. And torn Achilles would be pretty tough to come back from, but people have definitely done it. I don't know about running backs, but
few things. Yeah, I think especially his age, I'm sure he's gonna come back.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of time. He's so young. And I should be honest and say here, because I feel like we're gonna have very different views once football season starts, that I don't just root for anybody to get hurt if they're not on my team. Like there's countless players in the division that I don't want to get hurt.
yeah.
And yeah, it's also annoying because then if they're not at full strength, then fans have excuses of why you beat them. But at the same time, I'm going to be totally honest. There is people that I definitely root for to get injured, like Tom Brady or people that, not because they're good or because I want to have an easier opponent, but just because I think they're massive assholes. So I just got to be honest about that.
Okay. Yeah, I hope nobody ever gets hurt. So that's okay. I mean, there was a little bit of like, nice. He was really good, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, that sucks.
Yeah.
I'm gonna send you a bunch of things when my phone dies.
Okay. And then the last thing was, this is another prime example of why you should never do a fantasy draft this early, and tons of people do.
Yep.
And I just talked to somebody at my work. He's like, I did just in my first fantasy draft, and he did it last week.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, you should not have done that. And I like doing it early. And I was like, oh, you're gonna regret it. And then today, he didn't draft him, but he was like, did you see the injury? And I was like, no, what? And he told me about it. I was like, oh my god, this is exactly why I told you don't draft this early. Because somebody drafted him and probably pretty high.
Oh yeah. Speaking of being pretty high, the Steelers have signed linebacker Melvin Ingram.
That was my next one.
Yeah, I'm assuming I have this one. Ted Ginn. I'm assuming you have.
I meant to put that in here. I didn't.
More stuff about Aaron Rodgers and then Tom Brady news.
You have that, and I have a couple other random things.
Okay. And then I got some other stuff. But Melvin Ingram is going on a 1-year contract to the Steelers. Gets him off the Chargers, which is a W for you. The linebackers for Pittsburgh are pretty fucking good. Pass rushers are very good.
I hate the Steelers, but I think it's a great move, especially how late they got him. I couldn't find the numbers, but I bet that means they got him at a real reasonable price.
Yeah, I didn't actually
see
a real
late signing.
I didn't even know he was still a free agent.
That's what I was going to say. I didn't either, and I was like, maybe he's often injured or I'm missing something. And he only played half of last season, but that was the least amount he's ever played.
Yeah.
And he only had 1 sack last year, but he had 7 to 12 sacks like 4 years before that, year by year. So I think unfortunately got another Steelers move where he's going to be fucking great. And
he's a little older, but as a rotational piece.
That's what I was about to say. He is 32, but he doesn't seem to have a consistent injury issue. So I think they
W.
Yeah.
I don't think I have any Seahawks news. I don't have any in here. I know the Training camp starts in like 8 days. Russ and the boys are working out. DK, Disley, Parkinson. So I'm excited for that. Not much happening this year. We still have an open roster spot. I really hope we get a nice veteran. I kind of hope we still get Gilmore, but I don't really know what's going on with that. And we need to somehow, at some point in time, sign Jamal Adams still. But I guess we'll just see what happens there. Speaking of seeing what happens, Ted Ginn Jr., for a 14-year career, is retiring finally. That's probably the right move 6 years ago. That man is a beach ball at a Nickelback concert, just bouncing around everywhere. And
what is that from? I used to say it all the time.
Beach ball at Nickelback. I don't know, actually. It's
from
around
something.
like a beach ball at Nickelback. No, definitely. I remember us saying it all the time. That's why I say it.
Yeah. Definitely time for him to retire. But it's sad at the same time. He's easily one of the most electrifying, exciting players I've ever seen play. And
8 years.
Well, he still was putting up decent stats even 2 years ago.
He gets hurt a lot.
Yeah.
Like all.
And I didn't realize, because I haven't watched him too much in the NFL. Obviously, I watched him mostly at Ohio State. I didn't realize that he still was kind of playing all positions, definitely defense the least amount, and all of them pretty well, which we've seen even when players do that well in college football, that they usually don't transition to the NFL. Julius Peppers. And,
flies are.
Yeah, I
trying to
know.
eat my pizza.
I need to put the trap up. But I don't know. It's I just started rewatching highlights of him when I saw that, because I was like, man, I don't feel like I've seen another player like him before.
Percy Harvin. They always seem the same to me.
Really?
At least as a receiver. Fast guy is pretty electric.
Yeah, I guess the difference is they both are similar in that way. I just think it was crazy that Ted Ginn could do all positions very well. Like I said, that's why I think Julius Peppers is not nearly as good as people think, because he can do everything kind of okay. But Ted Ginn, at least Ohio State, was an amazing receiver, a really good defensive back, and one of the best returners in college football history. In the NFL,
did he do anything defensive in the NFL?
He did. He didn't do it often, but he did. I mean, he didn't have bad stats from what I saw. He just didn't do it very often. That's why I figured. I thought they just put him as a receiver, and that was it. I knew he did kick returns, but I'm saying I would have figured.
Yeah. It's got to be pretty few and far between.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think him and as a returner and Percy Harvin, I would argue that maybe Percy Harvin was even better. But yeah, he did, yeah. The Saints, he had a tackle.
I saw
3 and he had a tackle in 18, 17, 3 and 16, 3 and 15, 1 and 14.
I don't know if it shows on there.
2007.
The main thing that I saw that was impressive, but I don't know what website I was looking at. He had a lot of fumble recoveries and is actually on defense, like not him fumbling and recovering it.
I thought it would have been reception.
That's why, yeah.
Anyway, yeah, I think. Yeah, that's interesting. Is it special teams? It doesn't matter. He's retiring. Tom Brady played all of last year on a torn MCL. It seems interesting to me that you have to report any small injury on the injury report, and somehow he just was never on it. I find that weird when that happens. Like, things come out later. Like, oh, he had a torn pec. It had to have known about that.
Yeah. Do you remember hearing the year after they started the concussion protocols that his wife said that it was amazing they could play through a concussion, and he played through that game, and then there's controversy because he wasn't supposed to be playing?
Yeah, I don't understand why sometimes the injury report you have to report, like, someone's ankle, they're questionable because of an ankle, but they, like, sat on it for too long and it's asleep, and they have to report it as an injury. but someone can tear their MCL. This isn't even like a conspiracy thing against Tom Brady because he's a cheater or whatever. I'm genuinely. It's happened with Russell Wilson too. Like, oh, it turns out he had a torn shoulder thing. Why was that not ever mentioned? Like, I don't know. So, yes, cool. I have a torn MCL.
Do you?
I do.
Do you want to tell that story today or another time?
I can tell it now. I was juking a pussy-ass defender, and he went low, and then because of my juke, mainly it tore, and then the way he tackled me, really, it just brought me to the ground. It was probably already torn,
So, I was the one that tackled you, if I remember right. And
that's right.
you were juking, I'll give you that. But I stopped you mid-juke because you messed your juke up. You didn't mess up. I played it so well that there's no chance that you're getting through it. I fucking annihilated him and took him out for the year. And as you can see, lifelong effects.
Yep. ACL, MCL, meniscus, all gone. Literally don't exist. To this day. Never got it fixed.
You're welcome.
So, while it's crazy that he did that on a torn MCL, you're pretty okay once like you get past the swelling and the... I guess it takes a while for that to happen, though. It took me like a year to even be able to walk on it without assistance.
Yeah.
So, it's pretty impressive. Still got to figure out how this injury report thing works out, though. So, that's some interesting news. Speaking of interesting news, how am I doing so far with my segues? Thanks. This offseason, the Packers offered Aaron Rodgers a 2-year contract extension that would have tied him to Green Bay for 5 more seasons, right? So, his current one for 3, 2 more. And made him the highest paid quarterback and player in football. And he declined. This is from Schefter, too, so it's not like some fucking guy. Rodgers declined the offer, proof it's not about money. So he actually is still pissed. So my theory of he's just throwing a hissy fit to the owner seems to be way out the window. He's actually mad. So that's more than Mahomes. So the highest paid player. That's crazy.
So what are your thoughts now? Because you said the same as me. You thought either Packers or retirement. So
I'm still in the same boat, and I think he plays. So eventually you gotta stop throwing his fit. Just go play football. So, yeah, I'm in the same boat. It's either gonna be Packers or retirement, and I lean toward Packers more. And I believe that is all my NFL news.
All right.
There's probably a lot more, but
yeah, there always is with our show. We're kind of just covering what's interesting to us or what is bingo. You covered most things I was going to talk about, so we can start with some potentially sad news first.
Perfect. I get some cornmeal on my pizza here.
Greg Knapp, longtime
the Jets
coach
boy.
in the NFL, and used to be assistant coach for the Broncos and the Seahawks again. Another Broncos-Seahawks connection. Long live Brohawks.
Yep.
Got in a really bad bike accident, like a bicycle. And they said he's facing life-threatening injuries, so real fucked up. And, yeah, like you say, he's still an assistant coach of the Jets, so real messed up situation.
Yeah.
I was kind of surprised people aren't talking about it more because when I saw it, I was like, oh, so it must be he just has, like, bumps and bruises. But I saw it was life-threatening, and I said, why isn't this bigger news? He's been in the NFL for quite some time.
Yeah. I didn't even know about it until someone retweeted a Jets post. I was like, oh, what the fuck?
Yeah. So, doesn't sound good, but hopefully things will change because that sounds real fucked up. And I don't know if you saw this news. Potentially almost could have been really sad news. Did you hear what happened to Drew Lock? This actually happened before last week's episode. I forgot to talk about it.
Oh, what happened?
He was on the highway in Kansas City. I don't know why he'd be there. He's from there, but you get what I'm saying. Rivals, you don't do that.
Yeah, you don't even go there.
So I think this is why this almost happened, because he decided to go to Kansas City, where he's from. So, but he was on the highway, and a lug nut came loose in a car and hit his windshield and stuck in it. Like, it was on the highway, so that's pretty much just a bullet at that point. Even if you're going 65, that's coming at you, and you're moving 65 miles per hour, and it shattered the whole windshield and then stuck in the windshield started to poke through. So, really lucky, but sounds like that's just like a hair away from death. and even if that didn't kill you, which that's a good chance coming straight at your forehead, then you probably get hit and crash a car or do something. Which I don't know if he didn't crash a car, because even if that didn't hit you, I think you'd just be so fucking confused that I'd probably jerk the wheel or do something. Sounded something straight out of Final Destination, though. But like I said, that one at least is good news that it didn't happen.
Yeah.
And then you had all the other NFL news I had. I watched the Frisco Fighters again, the IFL. It was they lost, unfortunately, so they're 6-2 now. But it was a really good game. They lost 43-42, and it was back and forth like the whole time. So classic like AFL style game. Because that's the one downside I noticed. The IFL has games that are super high scoring and like back and forth like the AFL consistently did. But then there's games that are real lopsided. And I don't mind that in the NFL, but I feel like that's part of what made the AFL so cool, that there's like any second you had no idea what was going to happen, and so back and forth and exciting. But we'll see what happens. And then we can go to soccer.
All right.
You have some?
Nope.
You gotta stop doing that. The USA played another national game, taking more players away from the crew. But they won against Canada.
That was me chanting USA, by the way.
Fuck yeah. They won 1-0
Woo!
against Canada. They scored in 20 seconds into the game.
Yikes.
And that was the only goal of the entire game.
Okay.
But it was actually a fun game to watch, and the fact they scored that fast was fucking crazy. And then the last time we were on here, the crew had played 13 games, and they were 5-3, and now they played. Oh, I just did it backwards. They played 12 games. They're 4-5-3. So spoilers, they won their game, and they were in the 8th position, which was out of the playoffs. And I talked about how that could change real fast. And now with that one win, they're in the 6th position, so in the playoffs. I was at the game. It was beautiful. It was a night game, the first night game at the Dot. And
it's not what it's called. Why don't you call it what it's actually called?
Lower.com Field. Can I say LDC?
Little Dick Club?
Yeah.
No.
You said that was okay.
No, I said might be the worst one, because Little Dick Club.
We have video evidence. I think you said that one's not bad.
But it means little. No, I said the Dot's not bad.
That one's. Are you fucking with me?
No, I'm almost positive I said the Dot's not that bad, but it reminds me of the Target dog.
All right, so we'll stick with the Dot. So I was
Lower.com Field.
Yeah, I was at the Dot.
The LDCF.
Another sellout game. We went to the Nordeck again, and we could have gotten front row, but we decided to jump back a couple. But we were third row. It was beautiful. It won 2-1, and it was just one of the most energetic buildings I've been in. It was beautiful. I don't know why you're laughing at me.
You say these words that you use for these. They're like your wedding or something. But they're for a regular season MLS game.
It means so much to me,
I know.
and I had a couple of friends there with me, and then all the random people that just act that they're your friends, and you start bonding with them.
No, I know it means something.
They did a tribute to Matisse Kiflinix at the 80th minute, where it was a minute of silence, which was cool, but
Did it take away a minute from the game?
No, they kept playing. So yeah, it's kind of eerie, like something out of a movie, like where kind of like the scene in The Dark Knight Rises, where like the excitement and you just hear the sound just completely cut out.
Mm-hmm.
So it's cool, but very eerie, and they keep playing, and it's just like, you can kind of hear it. Obviously, it's not dead silence. Some people are like talking, but it's like a 180 from the noise that was happening before. So that was cool, and that's all I had for soccer. You want to talk some baseball?
Sure.
What do you got for us?
My phone is just so close to death. I have a couple things on there I need. I'm sure the Indians and the Mariners are both about in the same spot.
Okay. Well, I wish the Reds were about in the same spot. We have it hasn't been too long since we did an episode. The Reds were 48-42, and they were 4 games out of the Central. And now they're 48-46 and 7.5 games out of Central. So since we recorded, they've lost a few and won none. And almost every game, they've been leading, and the bullpen has blown it. So
that seems to be the story every time.
yeah, and so bad that they scored. Let me pull this game up because this was the craziest one of them all. Should have had it in here, but They're winning 4-2 right now. Let's see if that can hold. Oh God, it's in the 8th inning. That's where the bullpen usually comes in. Well, I lied. One of these wasn't close, as I just saw. The Mets won 8-0, or the Brewers won 8-0. So that one, they just fucking dominated. But all these other ones have been very close. Like this one against the Mets, they lost 15-11, which is a bonkers score. And 6 of those runs by the Mets were scored in the 10th and 11th innings. So all by the bullpen. And the Reds took the lead back like 5 times in this game. Jonathan India was also the first Red to reach base 6 times in one game since Barry Larkin, and he hasn't played since the early 90s, and they still lost the game.
Perfect.
So
things you like to hear.
Yep. So they again have all the talent if they can improve one area. We'll see if they do that though.
Looks like the Mariners are 6.5 games out of first in the exact same spot I think they were. They've won 2 games in a row. And then the Indians are on a losing streak of 1, and they're also in the same spot, 3 games out. So
all right,
all I got, because my phone's gonna die. I charged it too. I thought this phone's been really shitting the bed for me. I'm waiting until September for the announcement.
Yeah, the iPhone 15.
I hear they're skipping 13 because it's unlucky in some countries, so it'll be they're gonna do the 12S thing.
What if they take the opposite approach and partner with Taylor Swift? That's her lucky number. And the iPhone Taylor Swift, and they don't do 13.
To Android.
They don't do 13, but it is 13. The iPhone Taylor Swift.
Go to Android.
Hear me out. This sounds like the dumb naming things all these phones do. iPhone TS.
The TS 13.
But then you got 13. We're trying to avoid that.
Oh, the TS 1322.
Now you're just getting to like Sony territory where they just have a ton of letters and.
But it's 13 and then 22.
Ooh. I'll buy it.
Okay.
I'm
You would.
gonna say I'm sure it shocks you.
I would not.
I'm sure you wouldn't.
Nice. Baseball.
Speaking of baseball, what do you got for hockey?
I do have hockey news. Not a lot. I think the expansion draft is happening tomorrow.
Yeah, 21st.
Usually we do the backloggers, which is after this tomorrow. So that's what my phone died. Can I have your phone? Did you get my pictures? Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Oh, thank God.
I was gonna say I don't remember any notifications popping up.
It's nothing crazy. Oh, so the NHL's announced the Seattle Celebs. They're gonna be announcing some picks and shit tomorrow, or not?
Not
Yeah.
anymore.
He's not on here.
Wow.
How surprising is
Yeah, I
that?
thought it was a given.
Macklemore, Russ isn't on here. I thought there was some home runs. There's a couple home runs in here. Sue Bird.
Ken Griffey Jr.
That one would have been fucking sweet too.
Home run.
How about I just read them?
Passive aggressive Derek.
Sue Bird, which makes sense a lot. Marshawn Lynch, which is going to be fantastic. The greatest human beings to walk the earth. Shut it. Lenny Wilkins. I'm going to be the first to admit. I don't know who the fuck that is.
Sounds like it'd be like an 80s Seahawks player or baseball
I
player.
don't think so. Doesn't matter. Jordan Morris, Gary Payton, Sean Kemp. Bring the Supersonics back. You know what I'm saying? Bobby Wagner. It's going to be exciting. So, expansion draft tomorrow. They've been working hard because the exempt list was out, right? This whole week. I'm excited. Not that I'm going to know anybody, but I'm excited. I might know a couple names, but
You probably will, because as we talked about, they're going to get a fucking loaded roster.
Yep.
This ain't going to be like some no-name teams or players.
even the big names I don't know. You know what I mean? So I'm excited to. I won't watch it because I'll be working, but I'm excited. I'm excited for. I want to see Marshawn Lynch's pick, and seeing Gary Payton and Sean Kemp would be sweet.
There's
And Bobby Wagner.
by the time we do the next episode, we'll have the expansion
Real
draft and the
news.
regular draft.
Yeah, I actually have some hockey news. That's all the Kraken news I have. I'm sure there's other hockey news, but I trying. Oh, September 24th, the sweaters go on sale,
You can say jerseys. It's okay.
and I'm getting one.
Are you?
I already told Sam. Yep. I'm gonna get whoever the best players they get in the expansion draft.
I hate you so much.
I
I
don't
didn't
know
even-
who they are. I just gotta pick someone that's really good.
I didn't even boo you. I'm going to control myself. But audience, I need you to know anytime he says a terrible name, I'm booing on the inside. So
Incredible name.
I'm just a gentleman. I'm not going to do it for you.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. The Blue Jackets, as you said. You don't even hate the Blue Jackets, you ass.
No, I don't.
As you said, the protected list is out for teams now. I'm not going to go over everybody the Blue Jackets protected. But the big names are available. The biggest is definitely Max Domi, which Blue Jack fans are doing their normal thing. This is a player they traded for. And I think he's been doing pretty well, and I think he's a perfect mindset and attitude for a Blue Jackets player. And he seems to want to be in Columbus, which is a rare thing for players. He's already talking about I can't wait to go to crew games. But who knows if he's going to go to a crew game, because he might not be on the Blue Jackets. But Blue Jacket fans, since they traded for him, just say how he puts in no effort and they need to get rid of him and he's a bum. And then the Blue Jackets didn't protect him, and now all these same people are mocking the Blue Jackets for not protecting him. But how could you not?
Naturally.
How can you not protect this guy? He's amazing. What the fuck? I think he is good, but these are all the same people that were saying the opposite. So you should be happy that they did exactly what you wanted.
Yeah. Be consistent.
So he's, I think, the best one they could get. The downsides and why they did put him up, because obviously the team's not going to listen to what the fans are saying. They're judging personnel and everything. The actual reasons they would put him up is he's on the last year of his deal, so he's going to be an unrestricted free agent, and he had surgery this offseason, so he's going to miss a quarter to the first half of the season. So as much as I think he is good, I can't really blame him, because that seems like the lowest risk. It could be high reward for Seattle, because I think he has all the talent and the right mindset, and I can see him sign a long-term deal. I think he even could with the Blue Jackets, because he seems to like it here, but as we know, that's not been the best luck for the Blue Jackets, and it's not like they want to get rid of him. That's why I hate the expansion draft, but they had to get rid of somebody, and a lot of players they protected, I think, make more sense, even if they're not necessarily better players right now. You gotta look at all aspects of contracts, age, and
just because someone's not on the list doesn't mean they're gone, right?
You said just because they're not on the list.
Like just because they're not on that doesn't mean Seattle's going to take them, right?
No, they do have to take a player from every team, so they are taking somebody from the Blue Jackets. So I'm guessing
that'll be the one.
I would imagine so. Like I said, there is some downsides, and that's why they put him in there. Maybe they're thinking, well, they won't take him anyways, and we could still have him. And then
I didn't know they had to take a person from each team.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
And the other names that I think are decent, but I'm not going to list them all because some of these guys are like real low grade and they could potentially be good. They're minor leaguers. So the other known names, though, are Dean Kukin, which Kukin right there, Kraken Kukin. He's a defenseman. He's not bad. He's young. Kevin Stinland, he's been good, but young and inconsistent. Scott Harrington, he's been a decent defenseman. And then Cole Shearwood, which he's from Ohio, so that'd be extra messed up. But it could happen. He's just okay, so that wouldn't be that big a deal. Zach Dalpia, another Ohio player. And then Stefan Matteau, Gabriel Carlson, which he's been really good.
Stefan Matteau?
Stefan Matteau, yep.
It's not Stefan?
No.
It's Stefan Matteau.
Matteau, yeah. Now you're really making it sound like Stefan Matteau.
Well, that's not what I'm making it sound like. That's what it sounds like.
Gabriel Carlson, which I think he could be another really good one if they weren't going to take Max Domi. And then the biggest name,
eating cornmeal, and it doesn't taste like anything.
The biggest name besides that is Michael Delzato, but he's getting older, so I think Max Domi is probably gonna be the one they'll take. But it'll be interesting to see tomorrow.
Do you know who the best player is available, like out of all the teams that is actually available?
I'd have to look. I know Carey Price would be high on there, which sucks. Well, good for you, but he's a goalie, and goalie's the most important thing. And he's the one that took Montreal to the Stanley Cup, so.
Not protected?
Nope. They kind of did the same thing the Blue Jackets does to a much higher degree. He has a crazy contract. So people are thinking
this is the guy, because there's a name that kept getting thrown out, like, oh, Seattle could definitely take this guy, but the contract is going to be an issue.
That was probably it, because Montreal, they're not saying it, but everyone, because they wouldn't say it obviously, but everyone covering it is like they put him there because they know that Seattle won't take it, but I think that's a big risk that
Well, this is
a
big
new
risk.
team. Like, oh, well, no, we need a goalie. Yeah, we're going to overpay for him. So,
Especially if you have an opportunity to win the whole thing in the first year. Which
yeah.
you probably do have a pretty good chance. I don't know.
We'll see what happens. Like I said, by next week, we'll have that and the regular draft done with.
Real news. Not just like
Potentially.
speculation and shit.
Yeah. Blue Jays have 3 first-round picks and potentially Seth Jones moving, so we'll have a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
I'm guessing all the NHL preseason came out, but the preseason schedule came out for the Blue Jackets starting September 27th, and there is 8 games in the preseason, and it's 4 at home, 4 on the road, but it's against 4 teams, so they're doing like home and home with them, which makes sense for preseason.
Krakens came out too. I didn't fucking screenshot it.
Oh, I'm sorry,
I
pal.
remember to do
They
it
don't
too.
play the Blue Jackets. I know that because I've been interesting to see. Even though it's preseason.
I would have gone.
Yeah.
Can you go to preseason games?
You can. The thing that's shitty about it is I think the NFL does this too. I think it's normal for leagues, but they're not any cheaper. And then you're not getting the full experience. There's that stadium holds or arena holds 18,000, 19,000, whatever it is, and there's like 5,000 there, so it's really awkward. And a lot of people there kind of just don't even really care.
Just chilling,
Yeah, so it's a completely different experience. I think it'd be totally cool if it was like a quarter of the price. I mean, oh yeah, I'll fucking go and be able to hang out and see it. But the fact they charge full price, no thanks. You could definitely, on the aftermarket, you can get them way cheaper because everybody knows that it shouldn't be like that. But if you're just buying them, that's what you're paying for. But this is the first season in the past 2 seasons that is a full schedule and starting on time. So getting back to normal, and that's why, even though last season I wasn't a fan of the shortened season and when they did it, I thought eventually they had to do that because if not, you're just going to run into this every year. You eventually had to make some kind of concession to be able to get back to normal.
Yeah.
So I think it was a good move on their part.
You're going to kill me if I eat one.
Go for it. Something I was going to talk about from last week when we were talking about Toronto, the Raptors win the championship.
Mm-hmm.
And I was saying how funny it is and how much I love when a Canadian team doesn't win the Stanley Cup. You're like, well, this team just won the American League championship.
Yeah.
I think the thing that I think is different and why it's so funny is because they did do that, to be fair, so they got us. But for one, I don't care as much about basketball, but even if I did, I think why it's different and why it's so funny to me is because that basketball is like one of our 5 sports. Hockey is like their sport. So the fact that they just can never win it. I know they have less, like I said, to be fair, they have less teams, so the odds are against them. But still, the fact that they just never do is humorous to me. And
yeah, that wasn't like a jab at you. It was just one of the, here's an interesting thing that also happened.
No, I just thought I'd clarify because I did realize that sounded like, I was like, oh, well, okay, they won, I don't care, but I feel like that's the difference.
No, that makes sense, yeah.
I think that's all I had, though.
Right on. I'm excited for next week. I'm actually excited for some hockey news. I'm actually excited. I'm going to try really hard to get into it. So
I am too. Or not get into it. I'm really excited.
Yeah.
Kind of worried, not just because of the expansion draft, but what the Blue Jackets do with Seth Jones and all these moving pieces.
A lot of answers.
Yeah.
A lot of questions that need answers.
But I think that's it as far as sports if you want to get into this guy.
Basketball.
That's right.
Suns went up 2-2. I think we talked about this. And then the Bucks came back to tie it 2-2. Or they went up 2-0. They came back to tie it 2-2. They're playing right now.
Suns are up 39-36 in the second quarter.
Okay. The more I've been, so this Giannis dude for the Bucks, I have no shot. I'm taking a guess at his last name. You ever seen this dude interact with like kids and fans?
No, I know.
He seems like the best human being on earth. So I keep saying I want CP3 to win ball because he's been in the league for 106 years and he's never won. But I kind of don't care who wins, but I'm pulling for the Suns. But I like if the Bucks win. But I hope really what I hope is that there's a game 7. because finals that go to Game 7 is awesome, and I'll actually watch it.
Yeah.
So that's all. I think that's all. That's literally the only basketball news because that's the only basketball happening. So 2-2, game's on right now. Suns are winning.
Right.
Now, that's it for all the news all the sports.
Speaking of sports, what do you think of this pizza?
It's good. Am I going first this time?
Yeah, why not?
Okay. I like this your pizza. It doesn't taste much different than normal. I don't know. They put so many pepperonis on, you can't even tell if they put oregano and shit on top. But I think they do. But I can't tell that it's really lacking. Like I said, you got extra cornmeal, and I don't think it adds anything taste-wise, but for some reason it's making it like a whole experience for me. So I'm enjoying it. I wish I had my list of what I've rated things. Cheese is perfect. I love the crust. The cornmeal's fucking awesome, apparently. If there were toppings, which there's not on this one, so I'm not rating that, but if there were, their toppings are very top-notch.
Top notch, I get it. Toppings.
Oh, yeah, that's why I did that. And they're very plentiful. They kind of fuck it up with toppings. It's awesome. This is a very good pizza. It's very good. It makes my stomach hurt every time, though, so I'm preparing for that. 6.9.
Oh, I get it.
What? See, I want to know what I gave Classic because I like this about as much as Classic, but a little bit less.
That's why you just gotta not worry about the other
No,
scores.
I have to
You're
worry
gonna
about the
stress
other
yourself out too
No,
much.
I don't need to stress myself out if I just charge my fucking phone. But I'm gonna give it a 6.9, and I can't change that. So, but that's what I'm feeling right now is a 6.9.
Okay. Massey's one of my favorites. It's been one of my favorites since I was a kid.
That's an incredibly high score for me, but
No, I know.
okay.
Yeah, I got you.
I think something is 7.9.
And like I said, maybe I'm making it up, but I feel like this is how their pizza used to be. And I kind of stop eating Massey. I'll get her now and then, but it's not that good.
The price has
Yeah,
made me
that's-
stop eating. This fucking thing's expensive.
Well, I mean, you're paying for the Cadillac of pizza.
That's true.
Cadillacs aren't
It's
cheap.
gonna make you feel bad later because it's gonna break down and shit, or it's gonna make you shit your pants.
The Cadillacs do that?
Yeah, it's awful.
Oh, shit, here it comes.
Oh no! And then you do it.
That's why I won't even... Do you know they won't even test drive Cadillacs? Because people just keep shitting them?
Yeah, I know. That's a fact. Look it up.
But since I started doing this again, I feel like it was like I was a kid.
It adds something. Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, the cornmeal. It also just looks gross. I gotta be honest with you. There's nothing appealing looks wise about it. I'll be honest about that.
You can't really tell when you put two pieces next to each other, but man,
And yours doesn't. It's usually lighter than yours. Maybe they got some of mine on yours.
No.
Maybe they like made mine first or whatever, and then yours is
that's
still
usually
sitting
how
there.
it is when I get it.
Really?
Yeah. So maybe you just got fucked a few times, but that's a shitload of cornmeal. Sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, you're good. I think their cheese is amazing.
It is very good. Yeah, I didn't really go into specific.
That's okay.
I'll just agree with you. Yes, it's very good.
The crust is good. Yeah,
I think it's actually something a little. It's like buttery, something special
Yeah,
about it.
I
Yeah,
can see that. Yeah.
it's not just crust.
The sauce I think is a good taste. The texture is a little weird for me. How it's like kind of smooth, chunky. It doesn't bother me, but it's like kind of odd to me. Not in a bad way. I feel like you don't really see it. Sauce that looks like that. And so overall, very good. I'm gonna say a 7.5.
Yeah, the sauce might be the weakest component to it. And
Yeah.
that's not saying bad. It's just
No, yeah, I agree.
it's not sweet. It's not the opposite of sweet.
Not
It's just
sour.
kind of sauce. Pasty. It's very pasty. I don't know
They
if you're
call
going to eat
me-
that up. I keep into it.
Oh, you can have it.
I
They
don't
call me
know.
Pasty Casey.
Yes, they do. Sea-Pugs.
They don't
So
call
what?
me that.
6.9, 7.5,
That's right.
like 7.2
Oh, the
average. It's pretty good
yeah,
pizza.
probably about that. Yeah. Well, I think this is it felt like a short episode, but hopefully it was good.
45 minutes.
Oh, it is a short boy.
We really did do some plowing, but we're really ramping up into sports.
Yeah.
NBA offseason, baseball shit's happening.
NHL
NHL
offseason
is
picking up.
really about to get cracking.
Now you're really trying to push the no
Sorry.
booze.
But really is getting my dick going. Football's in 3 fucking weeks. Oh,
And then the wild dogs to follow, which I know you won't shut up about. I
know.
can't get you to stop. You're running wild.
Woof woof. It's crazy because I don't even remember it until you bring it up.
And that's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
I thought so I'm overhyping it. Well, not for me. I'm way more excited than I'm letting on. But for you, I'm overhyping it. But I thought you'd at least be like, yeah, I can't wait because you seem to have a lot of fun.
I am excited. I am excited, but I just so far away.
Now that we're here. Go Broncos.
God.